सगळे आमचे CCR TV पळयणाऱ्यांक माय मोगाचो येवकार. Goan and the Portuguese passport. गोंयकार आनी Portuguese passport. जे पुर्यान Ministry of External Affairs न्यू दिल्लीन फिगर्स म्हाका मेवलेली पळय आसा. From January 1, 2015 to 21st September 2021, 8,81,254 people from India have given up Indian citizenship between this period. And another statistics for all of us, 1,33,83,718 Indians are now living in foreign countries. We see Indians in very, very large numbers in Canada, in New Zealand, in Australia, in the United States and so many other countries. They live with their new passports, and for the last maybe 20 or 30 years, there are a lot of Goans, Indians, who are settled now in England, in Britain. They said that at one time, these are slightly old figure, that in Swindon alone, Swindon is a little county in England, that at that time there were about 30,000 Goans living in Swindon. I am sure the number must have gone up, and Goans enjoy a privilege of settling in Europe easily by getting their Portuguese passport. And to get a Portuguese passport is not a very difficult affair if you follow the rules of how to get it and how to go there. And Goans especially have taken benefit of this, and we shall see how, why. And we have our own expert, a firebrand advocate, political activist from Goa. He is originally from Majorda, and the beauty of this personality is that he has earned the respect of advocates, judiciary, and the common people all over the Goa. It's my privilege to introduce to all of you Advocate Radharao Gracias, a legal luminary. Welcome, Advocate Radharao.
Thank you.
Radharao, you are very conversant about the law and especially on citizenship. Goans prefer to opt for a Portuguese passport. They say mostly because of unemployment, which is prevailing in Goa. Difficult to get jobs unless you pay a hefty sum. And there are lakhs perhaps of Goans now settled in, especially in England. Do you think it's a good decision that the Goans have taken?
See, what happens, Jovito, all individuals take decisions depending on their own personal considerations. And looking at the way Goa is developing now, it is not merely unemployment. Almost all people who are now senior citizens or responsible persons are concerned for the future of their children. And almost many of them in my neighborhood, all people here in Goa, feel that the way things are going for the country, the way the government is functioning, the way the minorities are being discriminated against, there may not be much future for us here. So it is because of this, lot of Goans are migrating. Employment, see, we have been here in the past, there has been unemployment, people have migrated, but not on the scale like this. And people have always migrated to come back. Now, once you give up your Indian passport, the coming back itself is a big question mark. So there are various factors which impels people to leave the country. And it is not just Goans. I could understand you could accuse Goan Catholics of being anti-national or something. As you have pointed out, there are 8 lakh people who have left the country last year alone. Now, I don't think out of these even 5% are Goans. The rest are Punjabis, Gujaratis, and from all over. In fact, just a few months back, a Gujarati family, parents and 2 children, died as they were illegally entering America from Canada into the United States. They froze to death. Some 2-3 weeks back, half a dozen Gujaratis have been arrested in Mexico as they were trying to illegally cross into the USA. See, the problem is people all over the country, and mind you, Gujarat is supposed to be the model state. People from Gujarat are migrating in droves. It shows that whatever it may be, today we may be told many things by the government. The general public is not happy. They don't see a future for themselves. Therefore, they run away to countries which are perceived as better.
Yeah, that is a fact. What you have said and you have shared is absolutely a fact. But the problem is, when the Goans migrate, these people, and especially the politician, Portuguese mare, आणि हे सगळे क्रिस्तांव तुम्ही पुर्तुगाला मोगान हाय अशें म्हणटाय.
See, in fact, if you look at Goan history, it is the Catholic who has always been fighting for Goa, right from the time of merger, right from the time of Konkani. You look at the record, man. It is the Catholic who has stood up for Goa, because we are people who always said, needs Goenkar. We are not the people who wanted to merge Goa with Maharashtra. We are not the people who have disowned our language, mother tongue, and opted for Marathi. So, you see, essentially, if Goa exists today with its present boundary, it is because of us. Massively, we voted to maintain Goa's separate state. Separate
identity.
Yes. Now, if people are migrating, you have to ask why. See, I grew up in Goa. I have been regularly attending courts. I have been attending offices of Mamlatdars, collectors, PW, everywhere. I could see in my earlier years, there was a good percentage of Catholics in government jobs. Now, if you go to any collectorate or anything, you will not find 5% Catholics. If anyone doubts it, come with me. I'll show you the collectorate. In courts, you do not find any Catholics being employed at all. So where will the Catholics go?
Do you think there is some discrimination?
I don't have to think, man. It is obvious. It is obvious that selection is done on certain criteria, where Catholics and Muslims are not allowed into government jobs except at a minimum level. This is the reality. You don't need to think. It is the reality. I am willing to prove it to anyone. You check the records. You check the police force. If 100 police officers are selected, not even 5 come from the minorities. And this you contrast with Goans in the armed forces. You see, in the armed forces, 91% of all Goan officers are Catholics, man. Goan Catholics.
Even your chief of staff.
Exactly.
Who passed away.
No, even now, so many, in other words, in the police force, you don't want Catholics. But in the defense of the country, it's the Catholics who hold the flag, man.
Yes.
So the discrimination is apparent. If we are good enough to defend a country on the borders, we should be good enough for law enforcement here. But we are not selected.
And you have rightly pointed out to say that the youth, we elders are worried about the youth, and the employment scenario in Goa, you know what it is, unless maybe you bribe. They say that even in the police force, those who do not have proper chest measurements, they were recruited. Engineers' tests, they have been nullified. So it is basically unemployment.
Everything is manipulated. So there is no selection on merits at all. So what to do now? People prefer to run away.
And all those who migrate, they are well employed in their own way. And I have not seen one person who says, I'm not happy there and wanted to come back.
See, what happens is, when Goans go to UK or anywhere else, somehow compared to the rest of the Indians, Goans live a reasonably happy life. And they have no qualms about cultures. You go to England, Goans can immediately adapt to the local values, local culture, the local language. So Goans are welcome wherever they go. It is for this reason that today in the UK, there are 3 Goan MPs of Goan origin: Claire Coutin, Suella Fernandes, and Valerie Vaz. Australia has
also
Janet Mashkareni, recently elected.
Yes.
And all ladies, mind you. Now in Macau, there is also a Goan MLA by name Zé Maria Pereira Coutin, who happens to be from my village, whose ancestors
I met him in Macau.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
He says he's from Majorda. I haven't met him.
Yeah.
His father was a chief of police there. So there are Goans wherever you go. We adapt easily to the local culture.
Basically.
And people have no antagonism towards us.
Basically, they are extremely happy, let me tell you.
Yes.
Wherever I went or I met them, none of them complain. The only thing is, sometimes racism is there, but it says we don't interfere, we don't meddle in their affairs. We work, we get a good salary, we enjoy, we come to Goa, we go back, but we are very happy because we are employed.
Not only that, you see, historically, Goans have worked for the British Empire. Goa was never part of the British Empire. But in Bombay, in Karachi, in Kenya, in Uganda, in Tanzania, there were a hell of a lot of Goans working for British companies or even for British government, because there was something cultural affinity, and there was one thing among the Europeans. They found that there was honesty among Goans, which may not have been among others. So Goans were recruited because of their basic honesty. And the same thing happens in Europe, in England. You see, there will always be here and there criminals here there. But largely, our people work as per law. They rarely violate the laws. And there are no economic offenders among Goans. Occasionally some drunkenness creates some problems.
Rare exceptions.
Very few economic offenders. Our people don't get involved in economic offenses. So we immediately, other societies accept us, that we are not troublemakers.
Yeah, you are absolutely right.
Yes.
Now, Goans, they say they have got a special law which empowers them to obtain the Portuguese citizenship. I was also told, I'm not very sure, that people in Pondicherry also have this facility to obtain French passports. Could you elaborate what is this under the Portuguese law which empowers the Goans to apply and obtain the Portuguese passport and eventually Portuguese citizenship?
See, what happens now, we are not applying for and obtaining Portuguese citizenship at all. That is a misconception. Now what happens under the Portuguese law, all those who were born in Goa prior to 19th December 1961 and or whose parents or grandparents were born in Goa, they continue to be Portuguese citizens. I am stressing on the word continue. They have not granted any new status to us. Under their law, all those who are there and their descendants are accepted as Portuguese nationals.
Yeah,
so we do not apply for Portuguese citizenship.
This law 37/81 applies to all the colonies, not only for...
No. See, what happened was Goa was not, the Portuguese did not vacate Goa on their own.
Yes.
They were, from their point of view, forcibly taken over by India.
There was a military action.
Yes, so therefore they consider Goa on a different footing. See, the Portuguese did not recognize Goa as a part of India until 1974 when Maris Suarez signed.
Yes.
So until then, Goans were Indians. Goans were Portuguese. So they continue. So we do not apply to Portuguese for Portuguese citizenship. No. What we do under their law, we are recognized by them as their citizens.
So those born before 19 December 1961
continue to be Portuguese.
Yes.
Now I will now explain further. So what we do is our births which are registered here under the Portuguese rule, they are merely transcribed there. And there's a distinction between transcription and registration. Your birth can only be registered once, but it may be transcribed anywhere. Now if you go to Kuwait and you have children there, they are registered in Kuwait. When you come back to Goa, you can transcribe your children's birth in the registration office here.
In Goa?
In Goa. So that in future you can always get your birth certificate here. But that is merely transcription.
So you are saying that Goans born before 1961, 19 December, can transcribe their birth certificates to Lisbon?
They can and they do, because they are Portuguese citizens. Portugal doesn't grant us fresh citizenship. Let us not make any mistake about it. It considers us as their citizens. All that they require is that all their citizens must have their birth registered in the Central Conservatory.
Yeah, and once registered in Central Registry, it is applicable to the person who has applied, and also how many generations after that?
No, see what happens is, if you register there, you are eligible for all benefits entitled for Portuguese citizens.
Yes.
Now again, the law would be, normal law is, if you are Portuguese, your children can also opt for it.
Yeah, but up to second generation?
Your children.
Oh, children.
If your children opt, then grandchildren automatically get.
Okay.
That I would assume is the law.
Yeah.
Yes.
But they said at one time, up to the third generation are also
No, that is
eligible.
present.
Okay.
At present, if your grandfather was born here,
yes,
then your great-grandchild may not be eligible.
Okay.
But if already you are registered there, your grandchildren will be entitled.
Yeah, and once you get this Portuguese passport, they say that it ranks 6th all over the world, and you can visit about 191 countries without the visa. It's a visa-free access.
Yes.
And most of them who prefer, they prefer because of employment, maybe education, maybe health, and maybe some other reason.
Yes. So obviously when people go out, going on getting a Portuguese passport enables them free entry into so many countries. That's always preferable rather than a struggle. Because see, the fact also is that Indians and Indian passports are looked at with suspicion by other countries, because we Indians are known to jump the visa and stay illegally everywhere. That is our history. See, as everybody we all talk of patriotism, we are all Indians, Bharat Mata is what we say. Given a chance, we all want to run away to the countries which we hate here. The USA, UK, these are countries we dislike, we talk against them. But give a chance, everybody wants to go there. That is the reality. So, as far as Goans are concerned, we have this advantage of the continuing Portuguese acceptance of us as their citizens.
But it is legal.
Absolutely.
There's nothing illegal about it.
Nothing illegal about it. Now, the problem arises when the issue comes of dual citizenship.
Yes.
See what happens now under Article 9 of our Constitution. Whoever voluntarily acquires citizenship of another country automatically loses Indian citizenship. Now, for Goans, according to me, there is a difference here. See, this came into force when the Constitution of India came into force on 26 January 1950.
Yes.
So, we were not part of India then. We became part of India in 1961. Now, subsequently, there was a citizenship order of March 28, 1962, which granted citizenship to all of us, to all those who were born in Goa, or their parents or grandparents. They automatically became Indian citizens. It also said that if you want to opt out of Indian citizenship, you have to give in writing. That is the first part. But that order does not take into account the fact that India cannot terminate Portuguese citizenship. Neither can Portugal terminate Indian citizenship. See, Portugal hasn't terminated our citizenship.
No.
India has merely said, granted us Indian citizenship. So our Portuguese citizenship continues because that country has to terminate it.
There was that famous case of Sheikh Monteiro.
Yes.
And Gardiner had come from England, UK. Yeah.
But that case, of course, the court held that Goa had been correctly conquered and annexed. That is what
annexation was there.
That is what they have said. Yes. Anyway, that is not subject matter today's discussion. Now the issue is, since Goans are eligible for Portuguese citizenship because they are Portuguese nationals by birth, we are those who were born before that. The issue is whether under our law have they ceased to be Indian citizens. Now here my opinion differs from the Government of India opinion. Now let me also clarify. As a lawyer, I can merely give an opinion. My lawyer's opinion is only that, an opinion. Now it becomes a law if the court accepts it. It becomes a law if Parliament legislates on it. So people need not say that a lawyer has a lawyers merely say things. We all lawyers say different things. So this issue of what I say has to be taken before a court of law, and the court of law has to give a finding on it. Now what I am saying is, see, we Goans have continued to be Portuguese nationals because Portugal has not terminated our citizenship. Now, and there is the Indian Citizenship Act 1955. Now, under that act, any person who acquires foreign nationality ceases to be an Indian citizen. But the thing is, who acquires, and that is where the difference lies. You see, acquires means you have to acquire it now. We don't acquire Portuguese nationality. We are already there. That's what the difference is. We continue to be Portuguese citizens. So we have not given up Portuguese citizenship and acquired Indian citizenship. Indian citizenship has been conferred on us by that order dated 28th March 1962. So we are not acquiring Portuguese citizenship. So you can't say we have voluntarily acquired Portuguese citizenship. We acquired nothing, man. They have recognized us as citizens and we follow it. So therefore, I am inclined to believe that under the existing law, Goans have dual nationality because the Government of India has granted us Indian citizenship, and Portugal recognizes us as Indian national.
But,
we have not voluntarily acquired foreign citizenship.
But once you acquire the Portuguese citizenship or passport, you need to surrender.
No, but we don't acquire. See, what I would suggest is we need not surrender because we are not acquiring Portuguese citizenship. It is already there. When you granted us Indian citizenship, Portuguese citizenship is already there. So under Article 9, if you voluntarily acquire, and that will have to be after 1961, no? We have voluntarily acquired nothing, man. We have Portuguese citizenship. We exercise our right over it. I mean, that is what I would say.
Okay.
So I don't see why they say that we are not, see, Indian law may not provide dual nationality, but this is a factual situation where the Portuguese government has conferred on us and we are using it. We are not voluntarily acquired. Now, again, I will say in the Mehul Choksi case, this recent case at Antigua, when that Mehul Choksi or whoever, he went to Antigua. He obtained Antiguan citizenship. Now, Government of India has challenged that. And they have filed an affidavit before the High Court in Antigua, stating that merely acquiring foreign citizenship does not take away your Indian citizenship. They say that under Rule 23 of the citizenship rules, you have to apply to the Government of India, state that you have obtained foreign citizenship and give the reasons, and the Government of India will then either allow your application or disallow your application. Only if the Government of India allows your application, then you lose Indian citizenship. This is the Government of India stand in Antigua this last year. The High Court has not as yet decided. So according to the Government of India itself, merely getting a Portuguese citizenship passport does not take away your Indian citizenship as per the affidavit filed there.
Irrespective of all that, is a very strong legal point of view. The main contention is that Goans who go elsewhere to Europe or England per se, it's absolutely legal.
Going to England, you see, going is not an issue. Getting a Portuguese passport is also not an issue. Only problem here is the Government of India seems to be dilly-dallying on whether there is dual nationality or not. Now, effectively, we do have some sort of dual nationality. OCI is also a nationality. It is only that a second-class citizenship is granted to you. All that we demand is a first-class citizenship. OCI, you are given rights of citizens.
Yes.
Restricted.
Practically,
Restricted.
Yeah.
So, if that OCI is converted into citizen, then we are through, man.
Yeah, but basically the debate in Goa, especially by the politicians, he says, why are you all in love with Portuguese and Portugal?
No one is in love with Portugal or Portuguese. Why don't they ask why are the Gujaratis in love with America or with UK and why are they running away there illegally? We are going lawfully, man. Goans are going lawfully because law allows you to go there. These are people who pay lakhs and crores of rupees, who go illegally, who die there. So who are they? See, we are going lawfully. How do we become anti-Indian? The law gives us the right, we go there. And it has nothing to do with our nationalism. You see, one of now strong supporter of BJP, that film actor, who's that son-in-law of Rajesh Khanna, what's his name?
No, I don't follow this.
Konto. Akshay Kumar. Now, Akshay Kumar has renounced Indian citizenship. He has taken Canadian citizenship. He lives there and he comes here and talks of patriotism to us, man. He is a BJP supporter, strong supporter. He has renounced Indian citizenship. If there are any anti-national, it is people like him because they have officially opted for Canadian citizenship. They had no Indian citizenship. They had no Canadian. We have Portuguese nationality, as I have said, because of historical circumstances. Yes. And people don't go there because of patriotism. Patriotism doesn't fill your stomach. Patriotism does not give your children a right of education. Patriotism does not stop discrimination against you because of your different religion. So people are going for various reasons. People go because they don't feel comfortable with what is going on in our country.
But basically it's a lack of job opportunities.
Yes, and it isn't that Goans are going only now. See, if you look at Goa earlier during the Portuguese era, they migrated to Bombay, Karachi, everywhere, man. And they went for work.
Yes.
There was no patriotism involved.
And Goans and Portugal, there is a strong connection of football.
There is a connection of football, and you see there are a lot of cultural affinity. You can't run away from the fact that a large section of the Goan population were highly influenced by the Portuguese. And they adapted the European style of life.
Yeah, if you see now the World Cup in Qatar, what's going to be, already hordes of Goans who are rooting already for Portugal.
Yes. I mean, all of us, I think in Goa, if Portugal plays, we will all back Portugal.
And always at one time.
Unless the opponent is India. That is a different story. Backing Portugal doesn't make us, see in the World Cup, Goans back someone or the other. Majority of Goans usually back Brazil. That is my impression.
Yes. You are right.
But if Portugal is there,
they all root
I
for.
would also do that. I don't see any.
And I know how they would adore at that time. Eusebio, then Figo, and now Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yes, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So the connection with Portugal is quite strong, also because of the football, also because of the culture.
Yes, obviously. You see, what happens is the Portuguese also have treated us, I think, well. You see, if you ask any elderly Goan, everybody, whether he's Catholic or Hindu, will tell you that under Portuguese rule, there was law and order. There was no discrimination on ground of religion. Goa may have been poor, but they treated people at par. There was none of the animosities created. There was none of the discrimination. People were poor, but the government treated everyone equally.
On equal footing.
Law.
Yes.
So people have high regards for Portugal.
Now the fear is there because they say they want to have one, everything one. They will dictate to you what you should think, what you should drink, what you should even wear. And people are afraid by and large.
No, but what happens now, what they think is not what happens. You see, in Goa, I studied in my school days. We used to learn about farmers in Gujarat, Maharashtra, and that they were shown in their national dress. Gujaratis had a particular way of dressing. Maharashtrians had. Each state has its own particular way of dressing. They used to wear even dhoti. There was a particular way. And even in Goa, the trouser and the shirt or the dress was considered a Portuguese imposition. In Goa, well, even in my childhood days, large number of people still wore dhotis. Now what has happened? All over the country, the dhoti is gone, man. The sari is going. People are wearing European style of trousers, shirts, pants and all because it is functionally superior. People wear what is functionally superior. But the Hindutva brigade was opposed to it because it is foreign. The issue is not whether it's foreign. The issue is whether it is good for you. So anything that is good from foreign countries, we have to adopt. There's no question of saying because it is Portuguese, it is bad. No way. That is not the way the world evolves.
But basically, the people who are going, I think all of them are happy wherever.
That's why they are going. You see, my worry is people are going. I am accustomed to see people going and them coming back in the 60s, 70s. A lot of Africans came from East Africa. You must have been, they grew with us. They grew up with us. But they came back and they lived here. But unlike now, they came back. They thought Goa was their land. Even now, those who go, they have attachment to the soil. They will come back. But the same is not true of their children.
No,
they are born there, brought up there in that culture. They feel alienated here.
Yes.
So many of the Goan younger children born, they will be completely cut off from Goa.
Goans also go to Kuwait, Dubai and all these places.
But they come back.
But they come back. Or if they are there, I have seen most of them apply for Portuguese passport because of their children.
And many of them even otherwise migrate directly to Canada or New Zealand or Australia without Portuguese passport.
And I was told that of late Canada has allowed Portuguese passport holders to come into Canada and they don't need a permit even to work. Because for England now you need a permit.
For 2 years they can work there on a Portuguese this, and if in that 2 years the company says you are wanted, then you are entitled to work there.
You have so much to say on all this, and I think our 30 minutes are not enough. And I was told that you have been finalizing the first novel, and the novel, I believe, is entitled A Shortcut for Tipperary.
Yes.
What is this?
It is. I have took advantage of the COVID break, and I have always been articulate. So earlier it was addressing meetings, but now as we grow older, I wanted to put my thoughts into writing, and I thought the best way would be fiction. So this is a novel which is set in the 70s, when in my teenage years. And the purpose of this novel is to keep a record of Goa, the way of life in Goa, which was in my growing up years, which is quickly disappearing now. So I am pretty sure that Goans will enjoy that book, while the description is absolutely authentic. It is set in my own village, Majorda,
Okay.
Betalbati, Kalata, Nuve, most of the novel, but starts in Bombay and ends in Ireland.
And when is this?
27th of this month.
No, this month,
Ravindra
27th,
Bhavan, yeah,
at Ravindra
4:30
Bhavan.
PM.
Okay,
Yes.
so we will be able to read it and get a copy of
yes.
that.
I would welcome all Goans
Oh, okay.
to come for
So,
this.
so Advocate Radha, you have thrown light, but I think this could have gone on for at least 2 or 3 more episodes. The fact is, still today, there is a clamour, even after Brexit has not died down, there is a clamour for Portuguese passports. And they say that there are about 8 or 10 Goans who surrender or get their Portuguese passport almost every fortnight. It may not be now, but before COVID, that was the situation. Whatever I think they are applying and getting is perfectly legal, and it can be done. And I think many more Goans are scheduled to leave for better prospects. Thank you,
Yes.
Radha Bab, and it was a pleasure
Yes.
to have you and share your thoughts with us for the better future of Goa and Goans. Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you.